Good evening. My name is Jessica Lynn, and I'm the owner of Jessicalynnoriginal.com. We're going to go ahead and do our bullet planner number 2. So by now you already have your actual book. You should have a pen or a series of pens, or if you like glitter pens, those are fine too. So the first thing I did, and if you watch video 1, was I created my index. So in my index, I'm going to be keeping track of stuff. So if I want to go back and look at this later, it's going to be easy for me to be able to track, you know, what I did and what page it was on. You can see I did add a little bit of glitter pen to the index, so it's a little sparkly and it's colored in now. The next page that I did, and I would highly suggest, now it's up to you, depends on how much you're going to use this. Some people will only use this for 2 months and fill the whole thing up. Some people use it 1 of these per month. Some people, it might be an entire year for you. I decided that I was going to set it that it was September and October. So what you can see is it says Fall Planning September, October is going to be page 1. So when I go to page 1, you can see I have this adorable little layout that I did. So here's my fall planning, and again, you can see I put some, I colored in these little images with my glitter pen, so it's really pretty. I went in, just boxed off September and October. Went ahead and put the calendar just so quickly I could see where the date fell, if it was a Monday, a Tuesday, whatever. And then I went ahead, and this is a stamp from Jessicalynnoriginal, so I went ahead and put that on there. And then you can see I colored it in, again, using the glitter pen. So it just kind of brings that little layout to life. And then I put the little leaves around it just to sort of, to doll it all up. Okay. So again, and then what I did down the bottom here is I labeled it page number 1. Super easy. Remember, we talked about this before. You can see there's like grid marks all the way around. So super easy. Just follow your grid. You could use a business card. You could use a ruler. You could freeform it. It might look a little wavy like this does. But you know what? It gives it a little bit of character, some life. Do whatever makes you happy with it. So the next page that I'm going to do, and this, again, be inspired by this, but make it your own, or if you really love this, do this layout. That's cool too, My big suggestion too, make sure that you put some cardstock below the paper, depending on how thick your paper is. Now I'm left-handed, so I push really hard when I write, so sometimes I end up with where I push all the way through. So I'm going to go ahead and grid out a box. My next one I'm going to do is I'm going to organize my income, because what I want to do is be able to track how I'm doing with my business. Okay. And I want just a quick cheat sheet format kind of to look at. I don't want anything too fancy, but I want it to be quick and easy for me to be able to go, cool, what did I do on Amazon? How much did I make? Because we do have our stamps on Amazon. I want to look and see, do we do anything on eBay? Because we do sell there. Did I sell anything on my website? How did I do? Did I sell any stamps through Etsy? So Jessicalynnoriginal Stamps is available in all these different locations. So I want to make sure that I am tracking each of those. So I am going to go through and I'm going to do this for an entire year. Now, this book is only September and October. So you know what? Maybe I'll just do it for the 2 months. So let's give me a little room here. Okay, and you can see there's 2 dot grids, so I'm going to mirror that again with 2 dot grids. Okay. So the idea that I have is I want to go through and I'm going to mark these off right there. This one will be September. This one is going to be October. And I just want to really track it for the next 2 months. You know what? I'm going to take that back. 1, 2, 1, 2. I'm actually going to do this all the way through December, because then I can see what it looks like for the holiday season. And again, that was just a change I just made on the fly, and that's what's wonderful about this book. I get to design what my brain is thinking, what I'm trying to organize for myself, what makes sense for me. Okay. So then what I've got on here is I'm going to grid these off by category. So we're going to call this one Amazon. And then we'll do that dots. The Jessicalynnoriginal website. Etsy. And eBay. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back in, follow that grid. Now again, if you had a larger notebook, I'm only working with a 5x7. If you had a larger one, you could plot out a whole year. You know, January through February, track it. You could grid this stuff out. You could see how it goes. And then what I think I'm going to do in here, so now I've got that all organized. And so then at the end of each month, and we'll just put 2017 in here, even though I know that because that's what this whole book is. We'll call this the stats tracker. And again, if you want to be inspired by my layout, use this one. If you're thinking, I like this, but what else could I use? Head on out to Pinterest. There are some amazing stat trackers. So then my goal is I can monitor that there. And then what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to make myself a pretty little grid that I'll fill in based on amount I make at the end of each month. Because then I can quickly see, did we go up? Did we go down? Are we making more? Now, considering that it's Christmas, I would assume that, we're going to have busy season again, so business will go up. And then I'm going to leave this area down here open for some notes, because I don't know yet what all this is going to be, but I want to leave myself that space. So from here, what I would suggest doing is doll it up, because what I've noticed is when I go in and color in my book and I make it something that I feel connected to, I want to use it more often. Now, I'm not saying that's what you'll do, but, if you're looking for a way to be inspired by this, try that. I find that the more that I embellish and I really just pretty this on up, that it really inspires me to come back to it more often. Because then I want to color in it, or I want to make it beautiful, or I want to do something with it. And what's nice is, in small business, just a small tip, you should always know how much money your costs are a month. So maybe that's what I'll put down here, is what my monthly costs are, how much that how much I need to make every month to stay afloat with my business. Because then what I could do is quickly look at this, match it all up and say, oh, yep, all right, well, I made enough to cover my costs. So here's a quick, not that this is, my books by any means, but on any given month, then I'll be able to look in here and say, oh, I did this amount extra over. And maybe I could put, if I did a special sale down below, or, stuff like that. And again, this is all stuff that a regular calendar planner just doesn't have. You just can't do all this in there. That's part of the reason I'm really loving this. All right. Now the trick, just like any calendar planner though, is to go back and reference it. So make sure you do go out there. I'm going to go ahead and put another one of these up later, but if you're enjoying what I'm doing and some of the thought process behind it, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. I'm going to pop a little Brentwood up. Go ahead and subscribe. And if you have an idea for a stats tracker or how you track your small business, send us that as well. Take care, everyone. Have a good night.